You already know who it is. It's the bad boy, Boyce LeGrande, Dynamite Division Champion and PCW Heavyweight Champion. And you're listening to Mitch, Please.
It's just a silly man trying to understand who the fuck I am on this US land. I let my hair grow, then I cut it off, put a couple lines in it, cause you know I'm never coming soft. I do a lot of shows and I get a lot of stares. I got a lot of haters, but really who cares?
Well, here we go, guys. Episode 22 of Mitch, Please. Thank you very much for giving us a click. And, of course, this Friday night, Pro Championship Entertainment, stand-up comedy, going down at Shenanigans, featuring Drake Nelson. I'm going to get into that later on in the show. Also, coming on the show later, I've got Kimmy from Pro Championship Wrestling, a girl that's making waves in professional wrestling and has been for a lot of years, and we're going to get to her story later on. And I also want to let you guys know that it's been a freaking year of this show right here. We're 1 year in, and a year ago in my little apartment, I sat down and I talked to one of my best friends, Mike Shupe, and we set a 10-minute timer. And had no idea what I was doing. Didn't even really get to tell the guy's story. He's came on the show a couple times and we've talked about a lot of things. And here today, I've got Mike Shupe back on the show for a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Number 4.
Fourth time. What's up, Mike Shupe?
What's up, Mitchy?
Dude, I'll tell you what, bro. I just told you we're actually right outside the gym right now. We just all worked out, and dude, you're looking better than I've ever seen you, man.
Yeah, man, it's diet. Crazy. This whole time, all I had to do is eat right, and it's true what they say. Diet's everything.
Well, break it down for me, man. I mean, what are you eating? A lot of turkey, a lot of chicken, a lot of vegetables. What's the deal?
Oh, when I first started it was basically a 2,000 calorie diet of chicken, lean turkey, potatoes, white rice. It wasn't very strict. Now it's super strict. It's like a 1,700 calorie diet a day, and it's like egg whites. I can't even eat like real eggs. It's just straight egg whites. It's white rice, cream rice, still chicken breast, still 99% lean turkey. It's been pretty tough. The diet, sticking to the diet, not eating crap is tough. I didn't think I was an emotional eater, but I definitely am, because whenever I start getting depressed, I want a big fatty cheeseburger or something, and I can't do it.
Oh, I can relate to that, bro. I drain my sorrows in pizza and ranch, man, no doubt about it. Well, I mean, and you're preparing, right, for a bodybuilding show coming up on May 6th?
May 6th, same as the Cow Palace show.
Yeah, All Pro Wrestling coming to the Cow Palace. Mike Shupe getting in his underwear, greasing up, and getting on stage and posing, man. And you've done that before.
Yeah.
And I hate to break it to you, Shupe. We are going to get into your story one day. And we're going to talk about everything that makes Mike Shupe tick. But today's about Kimmy, your other half.
That's all right.
We're going to get to her here in a minute. But, and of course, we do have Pro Championship Wrestling Extreme Measures coming up on April 15th. I'll be talking about all that stuff at the end of the show, guys. But what I want to talk about right now is just the state of professional wrestling in general. I've had you on here before, man. Back in December, we kind of talked about how the year of 2016 went. Of course, we just had WrestleMania and all the backlash from that. Just ask you right off the bat, man. What'd you think of WrestleMania? Everybody loves WrestleMania.
Everybody. I liked it. A lot of people were dogging on it and said it didn't feel like a WrestleMania because the matches were too short. But honestly, I like shorter matches. I don't like the 45-minute Ring of Honor style matches unless it's like a classic like Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. They had a good one at Mania. But I liked it. I thought it was overall a pretty good show. It was pretty decent. It wasn't like super classic WrestleMania, but I liked it.
Well, I mean, it's become where, I mean, it's a week-long event, right? There's all this stuff going on. Hall of Fame, NXT. WrestleMania itself was over 7 hours. It's outrageous. But for me, I didn't really feel like there was like a classic match, like a Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle or a Shawn Michaels Undertaker or a Shawn Michaels anybody. He's not wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
He was supposed to wrestle AJ Styles, but AJ Styles wrestled Shane McMahon, which I really liked that match, man. I thought, I was like, man, they're opening the show with this, right? I was like, is Shane McMahon gonna get up there on that big ass ring up top and jump off, or
Match one,
or come off the roller coaster? You know what I mean? But they actually just wrestled. You could tell, Shane obviously is not a, really. He doesn't wrestle very much, but when he does, he gets out there and puts on a show. And they did some cool spots. And I think AJ Styles is the best guy they have in the company right now. But more than a great match, Shupe, I would say, is the moments were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Hardy Boys, right?
Yeah.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man. What's your thoughts on the Undertaker? Is he done?
Well, it sure seems like it. I was talking to my dad. I went and watched it at my dad's house, and I was telling my dad and everybody there, it's like, I don't care if he only wrestles once a year. I'm not ready for him to retire, but I mean, the last few years, you can tell that he's pretty much ready to retire. The matches haven't been real classic Undertaker matches. He's been real slow. I mean, he's always worked slow, but it was like an unhealthy slow. So I think it's a good time. I actually thought it would have been cool if, like, Roman Reigns hit him with a final spear and the lights went out and they came back on and Undertaker was gone with his hat and gloves in the ring.
I like that.
I think, and then you'd never see him again until Hall of Fame or whatever. But it didn't work out that way. But God, like, what a way to make Roman super heel. Like, people have been booing him for years, and now I think it's finally like that's the stake of Roman Reigns is finally the heel in WWE now.
Well, I think it might be it for Taker. I mean, obviously with the way it all ended and everything, and it's like, it's wrestling. You want to put somebody over on the way out, and Roman is obviously the guy that Vince McMahon just loves. He's got the look. He's got the lineage. He can go in the ring. I just don't. I don't understand why they don't turn him heel. I just think he's selling merchandise and kids. And it's the Cena thing. He's selling merchandise. The kids like him. The girls think he's hot. And I don't know where they're gonna go with him. But
he had the promo of his life on Raw.
Yeah, that was good stuff. I was entertained by it. But he's good, man. He's actually really good. He's just in a role where people are just not wanting to cheer for him at all. Obviously,
yeah. It's the whole Cena thing where it felt like he was being shoved down our throats, and I mean, it was his third WrestleMania main event in a row.
Yeah. So
Vince is over on him.
And he's only been on TV for 5 years, and he didn't really wrestle in the indies, and the hardcore fans are like, they want you to pay your dues. They want you to be out there for 10 or 15 years before you really get your break and get your push.
Right.
And I think that's just the biggest problem with Roman. Now, let's talk about the Hardy Boys, man. One of your favorites, Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy. I mean, I had a feeling they were gonna come back. Ladder match. They lost to the Young Bucks the night before in a ladder match. I really wanted to see the broken Matt Hardy. I wanted to see them really embrace that character. Now they came out to the old music. There was some hints of it.
Yeah.
And then like last night on Raw, I don't know if you watched Raw Talk.
No.
It was like the after show.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
Chance.
they interviewed Matt and Jeff, and they're totally not in the broken character at all. It's really sad for me, but maybe they're gonna transform perhaps into it. What are your thoughts on the Hardy Boys coming back?
Well, I heard a rumor that they were going to be involved with WrestleMania, but I wasn't sure. And then when their music hit, I marked out like a 12-year-old girl because Matt Hardy was always my favorite through high school, and like I just love the guy. I love his work and everything. So I was real happy. I'm happy that they're back. I was wondering if they were going to come out to the Hardy Boy music or like the obsolete music, but I have a feeling that they didn't want to use it because the WWE fans know Matt and Jeff as the Hardy Boys. Then if they came in as the broken gimmick, a lot of the WWE fans, even though a lot of the WWE fans know of the broken gimmick, in Vince McMahon's eyes and the writer's eyes, it's like, oh, well, we can't do that. We got to treat it like they left as the Hardy Boys, they're coming back as the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, the hardcore fans that go to WrestleMania knew all about it. There was Delete chants, Brother Nero chants. Yeah. And you know what? I follow WWE on Snapchat, and they actually did the complete gimmick on Snapchat. The Hardys did. They were doing the obsolete and delete and all this stuff. Right. And then I saw like I said, that Raw talk show after Raw, and they're just talking in their normal voices. Matt might have thrown in a wonderful or something, but just...
Yeah, I heard that Matt's still using the vocabulary, but his voice is not, he's not using the accent. And he actually took to Twitter today and said that coming home to WrestleMania and hearing the fans healed his condition. Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I hopefully, once Vince McMahon, it's all on him, basically, right? And the writers, and they've got to be comfortable with it and embrace it. And I'm sure it hopefully will happen again, but...
I'm sure that's why they signed him again. Because it was the biggest thing of the summer.
I thought it was the greatest character of 2016 was Broken Matt Hardy. Definitely. In any wrestling company. So, all right, speaking of a great wrestling character, as we record this, SmackDown has already aired, and Nakamura, he's on the main roster. He's on freaking the USA Network, WWE SmackDown. Nakamura got a huge reaction, of course, still the aftermath of WrestleMania, but what are your thoughts on Nakamura?
I like Nakamura. I love I love his music. I love it's funny because for a long time I did not like Japanese wrestling. I didn't like Japanese wrestlers. I thought they all wrestled the same. I thought they were boring. And I saw Nakamura when he debuted at NXT against, I think it was Sami Zayn, and I was like instantly over on the guy. Like, he's super entertaining. I love the gestures of his body. I love the Michael Jackson jacket. I love everything about Nakamura. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see SmackDown tonight, but I did hear that he made his debut, so, I mean, that's awesome. Like, it's definitely cool to have the fresh faces of NXT on the main roster.
Most charismatic Japanese wrestler I think I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And at first, I was like you. I'm not a big Japanese wrestling fan, you know, and he came in, and I said, oh, cool, and everybody all over the internet, oh, he's the greatest of all time, and I'm just like, okay, I mean, I get it. The entrance was cool. It grew on me, definitely, once they started bringing the violin in, and then it's just his work in the ring, and just his facial features, man, and just, also, he's got two messed up looking shoulders, so, just like me, so I can relate to him there, but yeah, I think it's a big hit for NXT. They lost a lot of guys once again. What do you think the future of NXT is going to be?
I think it's going to be still good. Like, they got Sanity, and I'm super over on Sanity. I've always loved Eric Young, and just the whole gimmick of it is great. And I think Sanity is going to be like the kind of thing, the thing to watch in NXT.
What's his name? Was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I couldn't believe that. The big hairy guy.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but yeah. He's
yeah. And also, I think Drew McIntyre looks like he might be signing up over there. I also heard rumors of Adam Cole, which, like, I haven't seen Adam Cole, really. I haven't seen much of his work. Yeah. I've heard a couple things about him. I've heard him do some interviews, but what do you know about Adam Cole? You think he'll make a big impact?
I just know that that's Maria's husband, right?
No. Maria's husband is Michael Bennett.
Bennett.
Adam Cole is like one of the guys in the Bullet Club. He was the Ring of Honor champion. He just lost it to Christopher Daniels.
Okay, yeah.
Long hair. Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah. I think it'd be good to have him there. I also heard that Bennett and Maria were coming to WWE. That they wanted Maria back. but we'll see on that.
That'd be cool. I dig Maria.
You'd like to hear her music again.
Oh, yes. Here she comes again, like good medicine. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I was hoping about going back to WrestleMania. I was hoping to hear Kelly's music, man. I was like, I start the Hall of Fame. I thought she might be in that women's title. What was Kelly's music? Do you remember? Kelly. I think it was Holla. Was it Kelly? I thought it was Holla.
Maybe it was Holla. I don't know.
To Google that. But anyways, we're closing up here, man. Is there anything else going on in the world of wrestling, man, that comes to your mind that you think's something that just catches your attention right now? Something's going to take off?
I mean, mainstream,
just wrestling in general, man. We could talk about wrestling. We could talk about our home company of Pro Championship Wrestling. We could talk about what All Pro Wrestling is doing, running that show at the Cow Palace, Ring of Honor, whatever they're doing. I mean,
I heard WWE was trying to purchase Ring of Honor, but I don't know how true that is. I'm really excited with things I have in the works. I'm not going to say anything, but I have got some ideas in the works for me personally for PCW, and I'm excited for it, and if everything goes the way I want it to, then it's going. I think my love for, it's no secret that last year I was almost done. Like, my love for professional wrestling was kind of escaping. Like, I was just down and out on it. Like, I didn't want to do it. Like, show days came and I'm just like, man, I don't feel like it. I don't want to wrestle today. And all of a sudden, recently, a fire's been lit under me again. And if this happens, man, my love, I'm gonna want to do it all the time, and I'm really excited for it. So, as far as home companies and me, that's what I'm excited for. As for
well, I'll go on record and say real quick, Shupe. I think I've been wrestling with you for a long time, and put in a lot of time with you, and seen you do a lot of different things and so many different gimmicks, and where you're at now, man, with your body and the way you're working out and your diet, and if you apply that to what you're doing with Pro Championship Wrestling and what you're doing with all these other companies, I haven't been able to see too much of your work lately because you haven't been wrestling on the Pro Championship Wrestling events. You've been doing an amazing job, I think, with your Showtime gimmick coming out with Zack, and I think that's great stuff. But I for one, I definitely want to see you working more, and I think that all in time, man. And I think that this is going to be whatever you want it to be, and you're still young, and you know what I mean, and the body thing is going to set you apart from a lot of people, because there's a lot of people even if you're just talking about NorCal wrestling that don't have the look, you know what I mean, that don't take working out seriously, and you do, and on top of that, you can talk and you cut a good promo. So I think just a matter of something I wish I would have been more in the ring is just a little more vicious, man. I wish, if I'm looking back at my stuff, I wish I was a little more vicious. I was a little, I didn't want to hurt people, but
yeah,
really. But it's like,
I think that's what it was for a long time. Was I was worried that I was gonna hurt someone, and then I get to the back and they're like, really, like, you're gonna hurt me?
Yeah. So
recent, like, I've been going to some work farm sessions lately and just working, and I have been more vicious, and Zack and some of the other guys there have really liked the change in me. They see the change in me, and it feels good to hear that again. So, yeah, when 2017 hit, I know everybody says, oh, it's my year. I said, excuse me, I said it and I meant it. I started taking working out even more seriously, even though I've always taken it seriously. I've applied it to my ring work. I've applied it to just everything I've been doing lately. And 2017 is far from over, and it's still, I'm very, very excited for it, because this is my year, and I'm going to prove to a lot of people that still don't believe that I have what it takes, that I indeed have what it takes.
Yeah, bro. Go tear those heads off and tear those hearts apart. Yep. And go ahead, man, and plug everything you got going on, social media, upcoming events. Floor's yours.
All right. So, Pro Championship Wrestling has Extreme Measures April 15th in Oroville at the Municipal Auditorium. Let's see, you could see my Twitter at @ShellhammerTime, Snapchat and Instagram at Mike Shupe 101, and Facebook / Shupe Shellhammer. And other than that, I got a big show in June in Reading, and you could just search Reading Invasion for that one. And if you need tickets for Extreme Measures on April 15th, come through me. There's been too many people stealing my ticket sales, and I need to make some goddamn ticket sales.
And also, bro, we can't forget about Superstar Productions, man. I always put it over on the show. It's a big part of this show. The graphic they're looking at right now, everything. Photography, video production. Graphics, flyers, man. Superstar Productions, right?
Definitely.
How can they find that?
Yeah, so I just made an Instagram for Superstar Productions not too long ago. It's just at Superstar Productions. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Superstar Productions. I am taking bookings for, I guess it would be bookings or gigs for photography. That is the main thing I want to start doing more of. I just had a photo shoot with your guest tonight, Kimmy. I mean, it's not too hard because I live with the girl, but it's a good photo shoot. And I've done weddings, I've done wrestling events that I haven't been booked on. I've done basically everything. I've done parties. If you need a photographer and you don't want to break the bank, go through Superstar Productions. I swear to you that you will not regret it.
Awesome, bro. And Mike Shupe, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mitchy Poo.
All right, and we're going to cut over right now to our interview with Kimmy. So I've been nagging her for months and months and months, and I finally cornered her in the parking lot. And I've got here on Mitch Please for the second time. We got you last time unexpectedly, but here we go. First time ever sitting down and doing an interview talking about her career. I'm real excited to have her. Welcome to the show, Kimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimmy, for coming on. And I just want to break it down. I know you grew up in Oroville.
Yep.
And what drew you to professional wrestling?
Well, I literally was just channel surfing one night because there's literally nothing on. And I came across The Undertaker coming down to the ring. And I thought to myself, I have no clue what this guy in black is doing, but I want to do that. And my mother bought me tickets to a PCW show for my birthday, which you sold them to us. Went to the show, saw a flyer sitting on the chair for the work farm. That's how it all began.
I remember that, yeah, 2010. It was probably Last Man Standing.
Yes, it was.
And, all right, so you saw The Undertaker. He was, he's your favorite wrestler of all time. I think a lot of people know that. It's a very sad thing what happened recently.
Yeah, I shed a few tears.
And so we won't talk about that, but what were some of your favorite moments watching wrestling as a fan with The Undertaker or with somebody else?
It will always be The Undertaker. I remember counting up every WrestleMania with him because it ran on my birthday almost every year. It was on it or around it. So I always said, it's as old as I am. And every Mania I was sure to watch it. And when he lost that first Mania, I was in tears. I was dumbfounded. I didn't expect it to happen. The Hardy Boys. Glad to see them back. They always made me entertain. Matt Hardy, my first crush ever. So it's awesome to see him back in the ring. Amazing.
You and your boyfriend both have the same first crush, Matt Hardy. I gotcha. So, any favorite matches you remember, whether WrestleMania matches or anything else that really made you say, I wanna do this?
Oh, let's see. Probably The Undertaker's match against Shawn Michaels. I don't know which one it was, but I think it was his second one when Undertaker was in all black and Shawn Michaels is all in white. That one sticks with me.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania 25, 2009, probably one of the greatest matches of all time. No, great choice there. So, less than a year later, you got you went to the PCW event. You saw the flyer for the work farm reopening, and you called me up actually. Your mom called me up and said, I got a 17-year-old daughter here that wants to give this a shot, and I said, cool, come on out. And how was your first day of training?
Actually, my first time going out, I wasn't able to get in the ring because y'all didn't have the whatchamacallits. What are they called?
We didn't have the ring quite set up?
No, you guys didn't have the paperwork we had signed because I was underage and y'all wouldn't let me get in there yet. But the second time around, showed up and I gave myself a bloody nose on a diving forward roll. Yes, that was an experience right there. Rolled out of the ring, made sure I was all good, rolled back in. I'm pretty sure y'all were dumbfounded about that one. Didn't expect the girl to get back in.
What I remember is, I remember waltzing. I was working with you on the waltz, and I was like, and you're a real shy young lady, and I was like, just let yourself go. Just be a freaking ninja or something. It's ridiculous. And I don't know. I was just trying to get you to loosen up and stuff. And oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, what were your first impressions of, taking your first bump in those first couple sessions?
It was an experience, that's for sure. I did judo before, so I thought, I'll just roll around and be fine. Took the first bump. Nope, not like judo. That bump knocked the air out of me. I didn't yell out because I was a quiet, shy thing, so I didn't want to make no noise. And I thought I broke something. It was so hard. Oh. And that ring was not friendly. Our first training ring was, not padded at all.
Oh, yeah, out there in Loma Rica, stiff ring, and outside during the summer, and we'd put it inside a warehouse when the weather would change. And, oh, man, Kimmy, I mean, you trained for just about 2 years before finally having your first match, and you encountered some injuries. I remember your first one, I believe, was you broke your ankle.
I fractured my ankle
during the was it the obstacle course challenge?
I was rolling that damn wheelbarrow down the hill and fell into a hole and snapped it.
I didn't like that obstacle course either.
It was evil. I hated it.
Of course, the obstacle course time record holder is your man Mike Shupe. But so you sprained your ankle really bad, probably within the first 6 months, and you overcame that injury. And then I think you were rolling around with Zack, and what happened? You broke your collarbone?
Yes, I broke my collarbone in 3 places, and hairline fractured it in 2.
Oh my gosh! So. And you're 18 years old at this point, right? So you sprained your ankle, broken collarbone. Before
I got into wrestling, I never got any kind of injury. I did judo, I rode horses. Nope. No broken bones, no sprains, no nothing. And then wrestling and broken 2 bones in a matter of 3 years.
Right. So, and this wasn't enough to make you think differently and think about quitting at all?
No, not one time.
So, what were your thoughts as you progressed there? What were your thoughts on training under Zack, Reeb, and myself?
It was definitely, I keep saying this word, but it's so true, it was an experience. I was very shy, I didn't really get out much, and then I threw myself into a bunch of men who every other word out of their mouth was something sexual. I'm very sure of it that Zack cannot give any type of lesson without putting a sexual story within it. And I joined when I was 17, and that was an experience. That's for sure.
I think it matured you greatly. I mean, it was like me and Zack and Shupe and all these guys and you. And you were there every week, twice a week, getting in there as much as you could, bumping, doing everything. When we'd have the shows, you're breaking down the ring. I sat back for 2 years and watched you put in all this work, and I thought you were the hardest worker there. And I told Zack, and I said, dude, we need to get her on the show. And the moment finally came, and it was the last man standing Rumble. But before that, you did your first ever promo, which they can find on YouTube, right, on the PCW YouTube channel. It was with me, and it was a fun promo, I thought. What'd you think of that promo?
I was scared to death. I was shaking. I did not do promos. I didn't do talking, and you just was like, no, you gotta do it, And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And it was fun once we got rolling, but I was just scared in my boots. I just did not want to do it at all. I was very shy. So many people ask me, how did I get into this profession being this shy? I don't know.
It was a long promo too. Like a lot of people for their first promo, 30 seconds, just say who you are. But it's like you're in there with me, and I tend to talk a lot, and so I had this big idea, and it was like 5 minutes long, and I thought it was great. And of course, our idea was to bring you in as Shupe's sister, right? Shupe Shellhammer's little sister, Kimmy Shellhammer, and. So what were your thoughts on Shupe Shellhammer, Mike Shupe, training alongside him?
It was fun. When I actually did a post not too long ago about this. When I first met him, sorry, honey, I thought he was gay. How he was talking with Zack and their voices, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm pretty sure this guy is gay and Zack is his lover.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So. I mean, I think it's no secret to everybody out there that follows you and knows you. I mean, you and Shupe have been in a long-term relationship at this point, and if you don't mind me asking, what point did you kind of figure out, I don't think he is gay, and I kind of like him?
It was when we were both injured. I had my broken collarbone, and he had his, I believe it was his broken elbow. And we weren't able to do anything, and we just hung out and talked around, watching practice and just hanging out, and I just realized that this guy's actually pretty chill, and he's probably pretty fun to talk to, but I joke about it now that we're not able to do anything separate. I broke my collarbone, he broke his elbow, I did something, and he did the exact same thing a while ago, and it's just like, we can't do anything separate. It's so true how they say that soulmates can't be separate. It is completely true.
No doubt, and you guys are awesome together. I love both you guys, and I think that, in my opinion, it was during Shupe's debut match with me. We went out there at Calskate, and there was a glimmer in Kimmy's eye as Shupe Shellhammer made his way down to the ring. So I always joke.
It's hot on the video, actually.
Busted.
I'm busted.
But going back, so your first ever match, it was Last Man Standing, 2012, Off the Wall Arena, Chico, California. You're in the Rumble, and of course, as things would happen, it was myself, I believe, standing in the middle of the ring, and you making your way down there and you're debuting. And how did that feel? And what did it feel like before you went out there? And how did it feel once you got out there?
I was so nervous. I was like sweating, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to run. They won't notice if I'm run. And Shupe noticed that I was, Chupacabra noticed I was really, really nervous, and he pulls me aside. He's like, you will always feel nervous before you go out those curtains. The day you don't feel nervous before a match, before you walk out those curtains, is the day you hang up your boots. And I remember that every time I go out those curtains, because every time I go out those curtains, I'm nervous till my music hits and I just get pumped. But when the first time, I remember stepping through the curtains and looking out at the crowd and them just cheering, and it's just like, this was amazing, just the atmosphere of the place and getting in the ring. And I wasn't in the ring for maybe, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but it felt a lot longer, and it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, and that's great advice by Shupe right there, too. And it's like, you were put with the Chico hammers right away, Shupe and Chico Lopez, and I actually believe before you had your first match, you were out there for our tag match earlier in the night, and so you debuted in the Rumble, and you were paired with the Chico hammers, and you'd watched. I'm trying to put this together here. Extreme. I know it was a couple months before you you were managing basically. And there wasn't really anything for you to do on the show besides manage, because there wasn't a lot of girl wrestlers at that time. This is like 2012. And I remember having many conversations with Zack about this, and he's like, well, there's no girls for her to wrestle. She needs to go find girls for her to wrestle. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but at the same time, you know, she's been putting in all this hard work for all these years, and it's like, she's good. You know, she should be on the show wrestling. He's like, I don't know. So we got with another promotion in Clear Lake, Pacific Rampage Wrestling, all of us, you know, our work farm crew, me, you, Shupe, Chico, Pat, Propane, I think Callus came through for a couple shows, and I told those guys, I said, all right, I've got a girl for you, and I'm going to wrestle her, because there was no girls, again, so it was like,
no girls back then. It seemed they were far and few between.
Yeah, and me and you would wrestle a lot at training, and I felt like we had really, really good chemistry, and we really could, you know, you could take a beating, you know, and it was fun wrestling you too, and I just knew that it was your time, and you needed to get out there, and how did that feel, going out there, you know, in Clear Lake, in the old, the Moose Lodge, and getting in there with myself and having your first singles match?
Oh, it was so much fun. The crowd wasn't as big as the one in PCWs have, so I didn't have too much nervousness going on, but it was a blast, and it was so fun just rolling around and wrestling with you out there, and I was so excited just to have my first match after 2 years of hard work. It was just amazing.
And you did a great job too. And I remember, that was fun. And you'd go on, I think, and we'd wrestle again in Pro Championship Wrestling, and that's basically your first PCW singles match. So how did that feel?
That was fun. It was fun for the titles, actually, the tag team belts. I love joking with people saying that I hold the victory over that. I am the tag team champion at that point, but it was so much fun. It was just, the crowd was so much bigger than at Clear Lake, so just getting them behind you and chanting, it's just amazing, and I can't put into words how awesome it was just to go out there and do something I love.
And so were you comfortable basically being the good girl babyface? Because that's kind of who you were. You know, you kind of were just a shy, nice, sweet young lady, and that's kind of the character you portrayed. Obviously, a little more fire, turn the volume up a little bit more. So did you fit pretty comfortable into that role?
Pretty well. I had to put a little bit of the more niceness, sweet girl act on, but it was my character. It was me out there, just volume turned up.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, I mean, you'd go on, like I said, you did a lot of stuff with the Chico Hammers managing. We'd do some stuff in Clear Lake Wrestling. And do you remember basically your first outside PCW match where you wrestled a girl?
Oh, I believe it was at APW Gym Wars. It was against Christine Von Eerie. I think that was my first ever one-on-one match with a girl.
I remember that. Yeah, that was my my one and only APW Gym Wars as well. And what a performer to get in there with the first time. Getting in there with a girl, and it's Christina Von Eerie, who's now world traveled. A lot of people know her name. How did that go?
We weren't even planning on going there, but Rick calls. I believe he calls up or he messages us or something and says he's got a match for me. That to just get down there, that you have to get down here. Christine Von Eerie, I got this match, you got to get down here. So we go down there, and I'm just a bottle of nerves because I know who Christine Von Eerie is. I've heard about her. She just got back from Japan, I believe. It was very fun, and it was a learning experience. If anybody ever asks me what match I remember having the most experience with, would definitely be that one, because it was my first ever match against a girl, and to wrestle someone like Christine Von Eerie for my first ever match with a girl, it was just amazing, and I got to talk with her afterwards and pick her brain. It was just an awesome experience.
Hell yeah. And you bring up Rick Luxury. And Rick Luxury is a guy that is a big part of Pro Championship Wrestling and has been for a long time. He's done a lot for all the work farm folks and coming in there and training, and a big part of the show and big part of every show in NorCal. And you also wrestled him in a singles match.
I did.
And what are your thoughts on Rick Luxury?
He is very helpful. Everybody, he has his foot everywhere, and he could help you get anywhere you really want to if you put in the work. He is an amazing guy. He's got me a lot of bookings. He's given me a lot of advice. He actually got me my gig at Gold Rush. He brought me in as Kimberly Diamond with him, and now I'm there with AGB, and I wouldn't have been able to really get going with Gold Rush if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, you started wrestling in Gold Rush, and you've wrestled quite a few matches at Gold Rush. Like you said, you're managing AGB. What's been some of your favorite times down there in Pacifica with Gold Rush Pro Wrestling?
We had a tag match when we first joined together that was very, very fun. It was me and AGB versus Samara and Kaka Meng, and that was it was kind of a comedic match, but it was very fun to do. It was very fun.
Gotcha. And then I also there's a lot of promotions, Kimmy. I got no notes here. I'm just going off what I can remember from all these years gone by and a few concussions. And Fighting Spirit Pro, I know, is a place where you've done a lot of things. Describe your experience there.
I didn't do much in Fighting Spirit Pro other than manage. I didn't get really too many matches down there, but it was when I was actually able to play around with the managerial role, and actually I think that was the first place I did a heel managing gimmick, and I fell in love with the heel aspect of the business down at Fighting Spirit Pro.
Yeah, you started really working again more with Shupe.
Yes.
Over there. I remember you guys were doing the Canadian type gimmick, and you guys obviously real life, great chemistry, and no doubt about that. Now, a girl that you worked a lot with, I think, especially in PCW and probably other promotions, was at the time Karai Hime. Now I believe it's just Kikyo, what she goes by. Describe your experience working with Kikyo.
I love working with her. She's the only person that I work with that I'm not afraid to hurt, that I go all out with, which shows in our street fight we had at PCW at Extreme Measures. We have great chemistry. Every time we go out there, we just go out there and have fun. We don't care really about messing up because we're just out there to put on a show for the fans, and we leave it all in the ring every time we go at it together. She's actually told me that we don't care if we hurt each other because we're there to have fun. We're not trying to hurt each other, but we don't pull back when we're together.
And you bring up that street fight, and I remember that actually, and it was one of the only times in PCW there was some blood. And not only was there blood, but blood with some girls. I mean, what was the deal with that? I couldn't believe that you were the one bleeding, I believe.
Yes, we were both bleeding by the time that was over. Kendo stick to the head kind of busted me open on that one, but I got a crutch bent over me. I still have the crutch. It literally bent around my back. That one was, I still have that because you can't give something up like that. That's like a prized possession.
Yeah, a trophy, no doubt. And another lady that you worked with, I believe a lot, PCW and other promotions, Thunder Rosa.
I actually just worked her a couple weeks ago.
East Bay Pro Wrestling, I believe. And describe your experience working with Thunder Rosa. Of course, she's gone on Lucha Underground, doing all these things in a very short amount of time. What was your experience like with her?
She is a sweet girl. She wanted to learn so much. I gave her first few matches, her first real storyline. I love working with her. She listens. There's a lot of girls that they just are out for themselves, out there like, oh, this is what we're doing in this match, listen to this, I don't care what you want to do. She'll say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do this? You want to do that? She listens completely. She's not a hogger. She gives and takes.
Yeah, I like her a lot, and she's been on this show as well. And you know, Kimmy, there's been there's more girls now than there was when you started. Is there any other girls that you've worked with over the years that really stand out as you know, some of your favorites to work with, or some of your least favorites?
I've been working with Shotzi a lot lately. I love her look. I love her gimmick. She's going places. If not for her talent, strictly on her look. She has something that sets her aside from everyone else right now. I can't really say I've ever had bad heat with a girl. I pride myself in trying to get along with everybody in the back. So I can't really say that I have anyone that I really don't like to work with.
There you go. That's the professional answer over here. I like it. And man, I mean, so much stuff has happened over the years. You've been to so many promotions, and you're still so young. Are there any promotions out there that you haven't wrestled? Obviously, there's some big ones out there that you probably would like to wrestle for. But I mean, just what are your dreams and some of your aspirations as far as other promotions? Where do you want to go, Kimmy?
Like I said earlier, I only had one match at APW. I would like to try to get on there like a full-time person. Like, they're going to Cow Palace right now. That's a promotion to shoot for, to try to get on a mainstay. I personally love what Lucha Underground is doing right now. I love that it's like a soap opera for men. Someone literally took the idea of wrestling as a soap opera and made it into a soap opera. I just love what they're doing. Their production is amazing.
Yeah, no, big fan also of Lucha Underground, and you can catch them on Netflix nowadays. That's pretty cool. Now, outside of wrestling, some people may know you're quite the artist. So, like, have you what kind of idea? What kind of goals or anything in the art world? Anything you want to accomplish? I could see you doing anything over there. Do you see yourself using that skill and going forward with it at all?
Yeah, I'm kind of into interior design, so I'm kind of thinking about going to school for that. I've been going to school for art for about 3-4 years now, and I want to get an art degree. I design people's gears, I design tattoos, I design shirt logos, I have a lot of people in the business that actually come to me for shirts and design ideas, and I actually sew as well. I've made every single gear that I've worn out to the ring.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. You and Shupe as well. I mean, you guys are probably, I think, one of the best out there as far as always staying fresh with what you're wearing. You've always got every time I see you, you're wearing something different, ring gear. And then you've also, you've made it important that when you're not wrestling and you're just out there for a segment, you're always wearing something that's eye-catching. And it's, I mean, have you always just been pretty fashionable?
I've always been into fashion. I actually used to have a sewing machine that I actually used so much that it died on me. And I didn't like the clothes that came with my Barbie dolls. I thought they were very unfashionable. So I would go out, buy fabric, and make clothes for my Barbies.
Nice. And wrapping it up here, Kimmy, I just want to ask you a few more questions. Let's talk a little music. I remember the car ride a few months back, and I had some old Sam Cooke on, and you were jamming out to it. Who are some of your favorite artists in the music world?
I grew up listening to the oldies with my mother, so I will always love Elvis and Johnny Cash and the classics, but the newer music today, 21, I can't remember their names now. They did Heathens. 21 Pilots? That's it, 21 Pilots. They do Heathens, they do Ride. I've fallen in love with the Heathen song. It was on Suicide Squad. I absolutely adore that song. I kind of want to use it one day, but I can't figure out a gimmick that would fit it.
Is that the one where it's like, all my friends are heathens?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a great song. I like that song as well. All right, well, let's see here. Who are some of your favorite people that you've worked with in wrestling over the years, whether it's a manager, whether it's a a male or female wrestler. Just who's been some of your favorite people to work with over the years?
I love working with Donovan Troi. He has so many different faces, and you could go to him for advice on wrestling or life in general, so he's an amazing guy to work with.
No doubt. I put Donovan Troi over all the time. He's, of course, me and him had so much fun together with what we did. And I saw what you guys were doing, the glamorous and fabulous stuff. I saw a little bit of that. Yeah, I mean, whoever he's working with, it's always going to be even more entertaining. And, of course, Donovan Troy's been on the show as well. And much love to Donovan Troi. Took me to WrestleMania one year. And, yeah, I'll always love that guy. All right, Kimmy, let's wrap it up here with, let's ask you what your favorite match of all time is. That you've competed in. Your favorite match I've been in? Your favorite match that you've been in, and then, like, just your favorite match that you've watched as a fan.
My favorite match I've ever been in was definitely the street fight. You could have so much fun in gimmick matches because you're not even worrying about the match itself. I had a blast in that match. Even though I got hit with kendo sticks, crutches, and chairs, it was an amazing match. There's too many matches, really, to have a favorite. Any Undertaker match definitely stands out to me.
Yeah, we talked to Undertaker Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one to be your favorite right there. All right, Kimmy, and last thing here, I mean, any upcoming events, anything going on in the future that you're real excited about, you'd like to talk about here on the show?
I am currently taking a new side of the Kimmy, and I believe that it will be an amazing portray of how I see the world. I believe that this is going to be something that when people see, it will make people talk.
All right. Well, we all look forward to that. I appreciate you very, very much for coming on the show. Exclusive here, Kimmy. And thank you very much. And best of luck with everything you got going on, Kimmy.
Thank you.
Big shout out to the one and only Kimmy. All right, guys, and you can follow her on Twitter at Kimberly High Rule. That's KimberlyHyrule. And you can also follow her on Instagram at KEYKO1313. And of course, Kimmy, a big part of Pro Championship Wrestling. And let me go ahead and let you guys know what I've got going on with Pro Championship Wrestling. You know, I came back on my birthday in 2016 and jumped in on the commentary table, did commentary that night, did commentary for Last Man Standing, and kind of had a talk with PCW management, and I enjoy commentary, and I'm happy to do that whenever they need me to do it, but I'm more into interacting live with the crowd. So once Lucian Delight went ahead and turned and joined up really with Boyce LeGrande and helped him become the PCW champion, I think it was time for me to transition over and become the new host of Pro Championship Wrestling. So the last two shows, we had two shows in March, and that's what I did. And that's how I started. My first real role on a wrestling show back in 2007 was the host, the ring announcer, the MC. And it was fun back then. It was definitely helped me as far as getting comfortable on a microphone, and I thought I did a pretty good job back then. And I think now I'm kind of slipping right back into it, and I enjoy it. And I'm glad to be involved with Pro Championship Wrestling. And I'm also real excited for Pro Championship Entertainment, which is coming up this Friday night, literally hours away right now, guys, from Pro Championship Entertainment, stand-up comedy at Shenanigans. I've got the one and only Drake Nelson coming from Los Angeles to headline the event. And Drake Nelson's a guy, YouTube this guy. He has been all over the world doing his comedy thing, and he's only been doing it for a couple years, but he's really made a lot of connections, and he's really, really freaking hilarious. So on top of that, Sydney Hupp and TJ Hudson are scheduled to be there, as well as Hank Duke, Ginger Daniels. Okay, and Zach Reeb also coming back to do some comedy. Myself and Eve Hamilton will be hosting, and perhaps we'll have a couple more surprises for you guys. So tickets are only $10, and you can get them by calling 530-990-8588. I mean, call and reserve your spot. Last time we sold out, we had to turn people away. This time, I expect the same thing. So don't wait. Get your tickets. Come out. Enjoy a night of entertainment with some really funny people. You got $2 beers. You got some great food. It's a really fun bar out here in Chico, California. It's called Shenanigans, 3312 Esplanade. And then the following weekend, we're going to be doing Pro Championship Wrestling Extreme Measures from the Oroville Municipal Auditorium, and basically celebrating 18 years of Pro Championship Wrestling. It's going to be a really exciting night. It's going to be the PCW champion Boyce LeGrande defending against Synn in a first blood match, first time ever in PCW history. We're going to have a first blood match. We're also going to have Impact Wrestling's Reno Scum, who of course got their start in PCW and are back doing their thing. They're going to be taking on Team Man Bear Pig, which is the War Pig Jody and Callie Jack. All right, and these guys are Grizzly Cal Jack. I got to get that guy's name right. He's a newcomer to PCW. He's been around, and he's a big guy. And these guys are a fresh new tag team, and it's going to be a really good match. Also, the Skye brothers, Aaron Skye, Christian Skye, 1-on-1. And they're actually, we did a live episode of Mitch Please with those guys. I am gonna air that down the line here. Aaron Skye, Christian Skye, nice little story they got going on there. It'll be interesting to see who can come out on top. Also, the Rise Women's Championship is going to be on the line. Shotzi Blackheart versus Kikyo, and that's going to be nice to see Kikyo back. It's been a good couple years since she's been back in PCW, so that'll be cool. Also, we've got a big one-on-one match here. Zack Primetime Reeb versus the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And first time ever, these two have ever got in there and went at it. I think it's going to be a tough act to follow, no doubt. The PCW Tag Team Championships are going to be on the line as Will Roberts and Rick Luxury defend against the Classic Connection. And I believe it's going to be a street fight. These guys, no love lost here. They don't like each other, and they are going to be going to war on April 15th. So it's definitely going to be a great night of action. All those matches I listed and so much more going down, again, April 15th, Oroville Municipal Auditorium. And you want to get your tickets for that as well. Those are going fast. And I believe there's going to be an amazing after party. I can't release the details quite yet. We're going to have to wait on that. Stay connected to Pro Championship Wrestling on Facebook, at PCW since 1999 on Twitter. And, of course, Pro Championship Entertainment on Facebook, and at PCE since 2015 on Twitter. You can follow myself at HeartbreakerMV. And that's on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at HeartbreakerMV. Mitch Valentine on Facebook, Team Valentine on Facebook, Got Mitch Marketing on Facebook, and, of course, this show, Mitch Please, on Facebook and at youtube.com/The Mitch Valentine. So, a lot of plugs right there. I almost needed a multi-plug outlet, and that's what this is. This show right here is to let you guys know what's going on. I've got guests every single time. We're celebrating 1 year of doing this show, and I thank every single person that has ever gave us a click. We're 1 year in, and we've got many more years to go. So, you've been listening to Mitch Please. Have you? Yeah. And thank you.